Hey everyone, it's Raid Kitty, and I'm here with my Raid Kitty S'mores. And today we're playing City Skylines. I'm back in the line, and my plans today are pretty simple. I need to increase the population. I'd like to get to about 1,000. I'm currently only at 481. The next thing I would like to do, if I have time, is to create... so we have basically this park over here that was gonna go build a park. And the Park Memorial Park. And it's one large kind of city park, but it's based around the train station. And so I think it would be important to create another city park. Parks and green space are very important in the line concept. And so I think by increasing population, I then would have a need to turn this area behind the public library into maybe a zoo, like a zoological research center. So we're going to fill up this area with some population, and I'll be right back. Alright, so our population is finally almost up to 1,000. I went ahead and I added some high density residential. I have implemented the ban high rise policy. Where did it go? High rise ban, there it is. So these are some nice low rise high residential. I really like the Art Deco buildings. I've also added this park here in the center. Has a nice little... not a Ferris wheel, what is it called? Merry-go-round. There we go. I had a bathroom, a park, some places to sit. And I've been enjoying watching people walk through here. It's been really fun. The other thing I did is in some of the empty space, I added some trees and I added some pathways to increase connectivity. Because again, the goal is to have people within a 5-minute walk of everything they need, and anything else further has high capacity fast transit. So now, let's go ahead and turn this area over here into a form of zoological research facility. I want it to be both a park as well as a kind of university area. I know that our population is pretty small, but I think it is important to have things like this sprinkled throughout. Let's quickly take a look at what our education is. Have plenty of capacity, and the beginning of some eligible people. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create the entrance to the campus area. And I do keep calling it a campus. It is not necessarily a campus, but I would like to think of it as one. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to place a path here. And I'm going to place the zoo buildings I want on this path. We're going to use Move It to move them around. And then we'll connect everything up. You know what I'm actually going to do first is I'm going to run a fence. Nah, I'm not going to run a fence. So I know I'm going to want a restroom. I want a birdhouse. I don't want anything too crazy because this is going to be kind of a small. It's like insect and reptile. Elephants are going to be too big. Sea life doesn't make sense. Giraffes are too big. Let's do monkey. So I'm choosing some more of the enclosed ones. Rhino is too big. Lion is going to be too big in my opinion. I could see me also doing... Okay. I am also going to do flamingo. Ah, okay, that's right. I cannot connect that to the path because that is weird. Okay, so we have the flamingo, we have the monkey, we have the insect, amphibian, and reptile, and we have the birdhouse. Part of the reason I'm choosing these is these are enclosed. They would make sense for a research type facility. Now let's go ahead and look and see what other types of buildings I'm going to want in here. What does this say? It does not have path or road access. That is fine. Alright, so I think having faculty buildings is also going to make sense. These ones I am going to have to place in this road. So I want 2. Which should give us 200 students. That's 400. That's plenty. And these are going to be sprinkled off around this area for study. I feel like the science center is too big. So let's go ahead and look at some other park assets we have. I really like the biodomes. I think they're extremely unique and they would make total sense. One of my favorite biodomes is the Biosphere 2. If you have never looked up the Biosphere 2, I highly recommend it. Really neat project. So I'm going to place 2 biodomes. Because again, with the zoo. And I think that might be it for our little zoo area. Let me look and see if there's anything in any of the rest of these. I'll put some viewing decks in, but I'm looking more for specific buildings. Again, this is fun, but it's also for study. Don't see anything in there I want. Anything in the park? Not really. Not really in there either. And I'll place some plazas. So I am going to delete this pathway. And using Move It, we are going to move these. And I'm actually going to go ahead and delete the bathroom because I know I'm going to need bathrooms no matter what. So let's move these as well as the 2 biodomes. I'm just going to move them way out here and we're going to move them in as we need them. Same with the 2 faculty buildings. So let's get this started. The first thing I'm going to do is run a ring road all the way around. This will help me, and also this is really big. So let's make it a lot smaller. Nope. Nope. I'm really bad at making things like ginormous. Perfect. And I'll set some more invisible roads around. I just thought that this was a really important road to have. And what I might also do here is I'm going to run this straight, more or less. And let's run that at the very edge of the there, and we'll run a pathway. So that's 80 and 80. And I'll add another gate. Add a side entrance. Awesome. So we're only going to have a couple buildings that need road access. So faculty buildings, and I believe the biodomes. The rest of these can function on paths. So we will get to that when we need to. So let's go ahead and create that ring road. Okay, so now that our ring road is done, we can go ahead and run the internal path network. But I want to place the buildings kind of where I want them. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to name this Zoological. That doesn't look right. Let me look at that up. Okay, so it's literally just zoological. So it is a zoological campus. I want animal ethics, of course. Fine for fireworks. We'll do night tours because that's fun. I don't have any of those buildings, so I will not include the recycled garbage. All right, so I think I want the main center to be birds. So we're gonna have a little bird area. So I want the flamingos. And I want I think this is the birdhouse. Yes, the birdhouse. Perfect. And we'll bring those down to height right now. Perfect. Okay, so now we have a little bird center here. And you know, I'm going to actually move it up there. And I'm going to want a faculty building somewhere over here to study birds. And now, and you know what? I'm not going to have them study monkeys. We're going to do insect, amphibian, and reptiles. Which I will put down over here. You know what? We're going to have a whole mini campus that is studying just birds and reptiles. And I'm going to have an additional mini campus over here that is specifically studying biodomes. Because I think that that is important. Because this is going to be more of the ecological side and climate and plants. And then this is going to be animals and other research. And that leaves a nice center area for some green space, maybe for a plaza for people to study. We're going to work on this side first. So it makes sense that this faculty building is going to have a courtyard. Again, everything is just kind of close, so we're just doing move it family today. All right, so we're gonna place a road. I want a nice little area. So we're gonna put the faculty in here. We're gonna use our imagination here since I can't place a dormitory because it is not in a campus area. I'm going to go to the nature reserve and we're gonna use this little, where'd it go? Not the tent camping site. Yes, the camping site. We're going to use that as a little research area. So people can stay there and they can research outside. So let's run this road here, right up the side. Let's move it to bring this around. And then we're going to use these right there as a nice little outdoor area where people can study. And these are going to be like when you have visiting scientists or you have researchers who want to go out at night, they can stay here. Now in the back, let's use some surface painter. Just kidding. Make this green space. Cool. Let's add a nice little study area for these faculty members. Okay, so we've added a nice little area. I'm going to add a couple tables. Of course, a trash can or two. Some lights. And a little coffee cart. And a nice tree. Awesome. So they have a nice little area to study. And then we have a nice little area for additional faculty to come. And everything needs water. Of course it does, because why wouldn't it? Okay, so we've added the faculty building. So now let's go ahead and add some paths. Uh-oh. Flamingos on the loose! Flamingos that I would consider that eating. I'm a little concerned. Alright. So now let's connect this pathway here. Alright, so we've completed this area of the Zoological Campus, so let's move the insect and reptile house, as well as the bird house. I think we've created a nice little study area. Let's go ahead and just bring these all down to the same height. Perfect. Awesome. And I'm gonna add a little plaza. And a bathroom. And then the rest of this, we're gonna go ahead and make a variety of trees. I'm gonna run a different path through it, as if people can go and try all the different trees, you know, see what natural birds are living in there. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have added 3 different types of trees, and under each one I've added a pathway so people can go and explore. And the last thing we're gonna do is add a couple final benches so that students can sit down and write. Okay, so this area is done, the bird and the reptile area. So let's move on to the biodomes. So the biodomes are going to need roads due to their requirement, the fact that they are parks and I don't have Parkify. So let's go ahead and add a road, and I'm gonna move these out of the way. Okay, so this will kind of separate the 2 areas. Also, my electricity, oh, it's because I'm not connected at all. Yeah, it's fine, they can wait. So I'm actually gonna place the faculty area in the middle this time. And then I'm going to run the biodome on either side. So we're going to have the biodome 1 and biodome 2. And those water problems, of course, are not going to solve themselves because I put them in the only hole that exists on this entire area. Run them down there. Oops, oh well. Okay, so we've added a biodome and it's looking a little empty. So let's see what else we can add. But the first thing I'm going to do is level these to terrain height. There we go. And I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit because it needs to be centered. Alright, let's see what else we got. So I'm actually going to go ahead and include a vertical farm. I do think that'll fit in really nicely here. I do wish it was a little smaller. It does kind of stick out. So no, not gonna do that. What else do we have? Oh, you know what? We can add the botanical garden. Or we can add, let's see, yoga garden, ziggurat garden. What does the ziggurat garden do? Ziggurat garden is very big. Floating garden, not water. Not the Eden project. So I can add the tropical garden. I just feel like I really want this here. So I'm going to Scoot this back to be even there. And we're just going to center it. Of course. Perfect. And let's add the botanical garden. Okay, that's a nice little area. So they'll be able to study the biodome and the botanical garden. Saw some buildings leveling up. Not enough educated workers. Yep. Working on that problem. All right, so then in this area, I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the paths and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've placed all of my pathways down. So the last thing I'm going to do is decorate this up. And then I got to thinking, integration of living and dining and shopping is so important in this type of city, especially in the Line project, right? Where we're existing around nature. So I'm also going to add some more residential buildings into this area, seeing as, you know, I only took up this one corner, which is pretty normal for me, as I make a really big park because I think that the assets are a lot larger than they are, and they're not. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate this up, add some residential, and I'll be back to say goodbye to everyone. Wow, that came together. I am so happy with it. Let's take a quick look. Oh my goodness, everything just looks so well integrated in this city. And so the other thing that I did here that I don't know if you caught is that I added the bird and bee haven because there was this huge empty space. I didn't know what to do with it. I love the bird and bee haven asset. And then I kind of extended it with the similar types of trees. Added some nice rocks, added another of the campsites, lots of trees, added a sauna garden or a yoga garden, and just overall added more of the buildings, more of the residents. And look, we're now over 1,000 people, which is insane, and it is climbing. All right, well, honestly, everyone, I think that's it. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the area we did. But if you like this and you want to see more of my Line videos, leave me a like, subscribe if you so choose, chit chat with me down in the comments, you know, all that jazz. But for now, I think it's time that S'mores and I take a walk through the zoo and then take a nap. Good night, everyone.